Okay.
I love you, ladies. All of you guys.
Can you guys hear me over there? Or? Good. All right. So I'm really excited about the topic today, which is self-love. Right? How many of us can relate to this word self-love? Right? And it's really a great time. I always think that spirit always is on point. And I'm actually going through some self-love healing myself. People think that spiritual leaders and motivational speakers don't go through stuff. Yes, we do. And we get over it and we learn and we share. Right? So I go through the same things that everybody else does. One of the things that comes up for me when I think about self-love, I just want you guys to share a little bit about what comes up for you when you think self-love. For example, give me a couple words.
Pedicure.
Okay, good. Self-love.
I can't say it.
Okay, what? Okay, I get it. Self-pleasure.
Self-pleasuring.
Okay.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Thank you. Por ahí vamos. Good. Good. I like her. Good. These are pedicure and masturbation. And this one, you know, hey, that's one thing.
That's why I couldn't say them.
Okay, one thing that you'll learn about me real quick is that I keep it really real. That's the first thing, okay? I'm not your typical rev, as you can see. Self-love. The self-love I'm talking about is a self-love that it's cultivated within, with different processes. But we have this thing in our mind that we think that we need to have self-love so we can get. So when I'm self-loving and I'm being self-loving with me, I'm gonna get the guy, right? Oh, I need to fall in love with me so I can get the guy. Or if I'm being self-love, I could create all these things outside. So we have this conception that if we're loving and self-loving, wow, I'm gonna be happy because I'm gonna create things. Self-love is a gift that you give to yourself no matter what. It has nothing to do with outside things. It's something that you give to yourself because you want to live a life of peace, right? It's not like, oh, I want to have self-love because I want to create something. True spirituality is being at peace no matter what. It's being happy regardless if you have the guy or don't have the guy, regardless if you have the car or don't have the car. Because if those things made you happy, right, then why do we suffer even when we have these things? I'm sure we're very successful Latinas here in the house, right? Yes? Yeah. And we're still sometimes crying in bed, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that tells us that it's not the outside world that's going to give us our happiness and our peace. It's cultivating this mindset that, hey, you know, I'm enough. I'm a perfect child of God. If anybody has a problem with the word God, just substitute it, like go bleep and think light, love, whatever. You know, I don't have a problem with the word God, but just so you know, okay? So when I say a perfect child of God, I am worthy of having self-love and I am happy no matter what. I have discovered when the word self-love comes to me, I've discovered a few things of what brings me self-love. One of them is recognizing how my mind works. How can we have self-love if we don't know how to deal with our mind, right? So there's a thought system in our mind. This actually comes from A Course in Miracles. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with A Course in Miracles. Talks about two different mindsets. It's very simple. We're either choosing one or the other. And depending on which one we're choosing, we're going to have our experience. So either fear or love, Holy Spirit, ego, darkness or light. So it's either one or the other. And depending what thought system you're choosing in your mind, it's going to give you your experience, right? So if you are in the process of ego, now, a lot of you could identify with the word ego in a different way. I'm not talking about the worldly way of what ego is, right? I'm talking about this part of our mind that's fearful, that tells you you're not enough. Oh, and the good thing is that the ego is always going to tell you that what's out there is going to make you happy. The ego is very tricky. It tells you, I could have, I would have, I should have, I wish I would have done it better. And guess what? That keeps you in fear because you're thinking about the past. You know, oh my God, how many of us ladies have thought that? Like, oh, I wish I would have done it like this, or I wish, oh my God, I wish I wouldn't have sent that text. Shit, if I wouldn't have sent that text, no la hubiera cagado, right? It's like, I wouldn't have meted la pata, and then hence, such, no, it's like, we always do the best we can. I always say this is my favorite mantra, guys, if you guys want to take this with you. I do the best I can with the consciousness I have. And sometimes we're at a very high elevated consciousness of love, and sometimes we're not. And it's okay, we're always doing the best we can. What happens is that the ego is always working in the past, so it's always like, gosh, I should have, I could have, I wish I would have done it better. And what happens is that it's so delusional, because if you're thinking of the past, you can't change the past. All you have is right now. So you say, you know what? No, I choose again. I choose Holy Spirit again. I choose God again. Let me start again. That's one thing. So one thing is knowing who's running the show in your mind. If you think, I always say it like thoughts of caca, ego thoughts, you're gonna project that. If you're in a state that you are listening to Holy Spirit, to the love, you're gonna project that. So let's dab into a little bit of how this world works. So this is a world, the Course in Miracles would say, I'm a Course in Miracles teacher, by the way, that's my strength, that's what I teach, is the cause is here and the effect is out there. Always, no matter what. So the cause is here, the effect is out there. So what happens, you have a projector, so you watch a movie, right? If you don't like the movie, what are you gonna do? What we do is that in the world, we want to change, we want to go to the screen and kind of darle patadas at the screen and change it, because we want to change him, we want to change our parents, we want to change our coworker, we want to change our parents. If we want to change the movie, we need to go around and what? And change the movie that's in the projector. So that way, what happens? What you see is different. So it's always an inside job. You trying to change anything out there, trying to manipulate or make happen anything out there, doesn't work. Because the change is within you, right? So that's another thing. So we started with cause and Holy Spirit, ego, and now we're learning this whole cause and effect. So I'm trying in 30 minutes to give it all to you. I'm feeding it to you, and then I hope you would practice it. That's where it really is helpful, is to practice that. Another thing in self-love is to practice whatever it is that you are involved in. Because if you're reading self-help books and watching Oprah or going to different groups or trying to get this spiritual need, but then again, you're not living that, then that was me. I was a professional at self-help books all my life. I loved Oprah. How many of us like Oprah, or watching different shows, or like always wanting to we're like fixated with this stuff. The thing was with me, I was even going to a course group. I'm a course teacher now, but I was going to a course group, and during the week, I would go to the group, and then during the weekend, la cagaba. I wasn't in alignment, right? It's like, I am love, but I want to tell the person off on the street while they're driving next to me that I deo. It's like, it's not in synchronization. I am abundance. It's beautiful to say that, but I'm going to worry about money. So we must, if we're going to be in a spiritual practice, if we're going to be cultivating these types of thoughts, we need to live them. Who are you being with yourself? Who are you being with your sister? Right? I mean, I always refer to us as one, so my brothers and sisters, right? Who am I being? We must recognize, and this is a big one, this is very metaphysical and very advanced, but I know you guys can handle it, is that everything is love or a call for love, no matter the form. Again, everything is love or a call for love, no matter the form. Wow, no matter the form. So if that person in front of you is acting up, it is not your job to attack back. Your job, as with self-love, is to rise consciousness. It's not that you stand there and you take it or anything like that, or allow disrespect, but there's no defense. Why? Because the Course would say, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. There's nothing to defend, because there's nothing to attack, because you know that's not the truth about you. If it was, you're gonna attack it if you think it's the truth about you. Think about it. If it's not the truth about you, then why would you attack it? I always say, if you spot it, you got it. So if you see it out there, I aguantique has a little bit of it, at least a little sprinkle of salt. Okay, if not, you're not gonna see it. So whenever you experience some sort of distortion out there revealing itself to you, I want to invite you to take it back and remember your self-love, because this is being loving to yourself. Why? Because as you're being loving to your brother and sister outside, you're actually being loving to yourself. Because the Course would say that we're all mirrors. We're mirrors, so we're always being mirrored. There's no exception. Sometimes you'll say, but wait a second. I've attracted this, like I've created this experience that is so, it's very distressful and very sad. Sometimes we don't know why things are experienced outside, and sometimes it's okay not to know. The ego would be like, but why? But why is this happening? No, the Holy Spirit would say, trust. Maybe you'll never know. But that doesn't matter. What matters is, who am I going to be now? How am I going to change? How am I going to see this differently? And our job is to ask Holy Spirit again, Holy Spirit, let me see this another way. Let me see this through your eyes. It's to choose again, especially if we're out of it, right? If we're out of it. Another important element, I feel, is alignment. I am love, so everything that you say to yourself is about love, and everything that you experience out there with everyone is love. So everything needs to be in synchronization all the time. Another thing is, you have to, what I'm working on now is triggers. So there's some, I'm sure everybody could identify, there's a trigger for everyone, depending on your upbringing. So there's this thing sometimes that sets you off, y te sale de onda, right? I know because I experience it. And I know that it's really an in-depth grievance or sadness that I have to work on, because even though I meditate, even though I get on the floor and pray, I'm not feeling better. Okay? It's like a wound. Okay? A lot of us have issues with, because of our separation, we have this issue with self-worth and unworthiness within us in some way, and it manifests in different ways. Mine manifests with men. How many can we relate to this? Okay, mine manifests with men. I could be all spiritual and everything's fine, and I'm preaching at church and I'm talking right now, and then I like somebody, forget about it. Todo out the window. I'm in fear, I get nervous, I feel I'm not worthy of love. There's a lot of things that come up for me. That's my trigger. I know that's my trigger. And I'm working on that right now. I actually had a revelation on Sunday that I'm done. Enough is enough. Those 3 days of hell that I had last week, ya se acabó ya. Like that feeling that I felt those 3 days, which is a very familiar feeling because I've had it in the past, and it's been for years and eons and eons and eons. No, I am worthy. Like, if something could be so that, why can't it be the opposite? Why can't I create having someone that I really like in my life, a romantic partner, and to feel worthy of that? Like, how amazing would that be? And why not? So I invite you, because right now is to think about, there's triggers. There's different triggers for everyone. Mine comes up with men. There's people that comes up in different ways with different things. Right? So it's important to figure out, engage what are all those triggers for you, and say, okay, I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing to change. The thing is, it's really enough is enough. Because what happens is, it's like we don't really mean it. Of course, the miracle says all we need is a little bit of willingness and miracles happen. We do, but we don't. So for me, it's like all this time I've been suffering with men, and I haven't really wanted to heal it. Why? Because in a way it's comfortable. It's what I'm used to, right? So you must make the commitment to say, no, I want to break this habit. Like, enough is enough. Like, get on your knees, like, if you have to. Like, I want to experience the situation in a different way. So that's another element that's important with self-love. The other thing is your mind and how you're thinking about yourself and others. Because it all happens in the mind. So during the day, like, what loving thoughts am I having about myself? What loving thoughts am I having about a brother and a sister that I can have right now without lifting a finger? I mean, my parents live in Miami. I send them loving thoughts all through my day while I'm at home. I send love to my dad, I send love to my mom, because we're all one mind, you see. We see these bodies and we think we're separate, right? I think that Billy's there and I'm Maria, this is Davina. It's like this separation. And I love the concept of what Davina's doing, because I feel that she's bringing together people for higher consciousness. She's bringing together people so we can help each other. And hence we're having this experience of having a beautiful dinner with inspiration. I mean, how beautiful is that? It's amazing. It's like, look at this view, holy shit, you know, it's beautiful. Right? Right? So it's the opportunity, and I love that because it has to do with my message. It's all about, we have to get away from this me consciousness. Like, it's all about me. And we have to start to think about the we. we are gonna do this together, right? We're gonna heal this together. Like, we're gonna do this together. Because this whole thing about we're separate. And we must remember, no, in one way or another, we're connected. I mean, if we were just these bodies, if I was just this body, I'm very limited. We're not just these bodies. And I want to remind you, you're also not bodies. You're more than this. Your spirit, your love, your light. You're not just, like, I don't see Davina just like this. Like, there's something beyond this that connects us. And that's what truly matters. And that's what we must tap into with people in our daily lives. And higher consciousness versus get upset and defend and try to attack something outside. No, how powerful it is to be like, no, I'm not going to let this person, I'm not going to give away my power. That's another thing we do. We give away our power. We have this amazing power. Somebody pisses us off. Here's my power. You're giving it away as of just, if you're self-loving, you don't give away your power. You own your power. And you feel worthy of having that power. So I invite you this week to start to notice, where is it that you do give away your power? When do we give away our power? When we make big deals. I call them the big deals in life. Like if you get like a letter from the IRS, right? That's like a big deal. What other big deals? What are big deals for you?
Your mom talks shit to you about something, or like says something to you.
I like her, yes, yes. Yeah, it's like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
She said that.
Yeah.
My mom. Like,
yes.
How could she?
Yes.
She said you missed it back here.
Her mom saying.
Says something to you about whatever. Yeah, she gets to you. Exactly.
She gets to you, and that's, she makes it, that's for her, that's a big deal. Or she's saying in general, I'm not going to point her out, but that's a big deal, right? What are the big deals? Like something that for you, it's like, wow, you make it mean something. What is it?
Just general is stress. We get so stressed out. Like, I don't know, it's a big deal. People that are ungrateful.
It's a big deal for you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Not getting gratitude.
Okay. A big deal. All right. So we have to realize that when something comes up like a big deal, I'm going to give you an example of, like, for instance, the IRS letter. I don't know. You get it, and the first thing how you're going to lose your power and not have self-love is by believing that that's true and giving it away. Like, oh my God, this is such a big deal. Like, I got a thing from my IRS and I have a penalty and blah, blah, blah. That's not what I would do now, because I would look at it and be like, oh my God, it's just a letter. Wow, I love this letter. Isn't that a nice concept? Oh my God, I love this problem. This is a great problem. I love it. It's like, wow, I love this. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't make it mean anything. I don't make it mean like, oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble. It's more like, okay, then, but it's not bullshit. Okay, because the thing is like, I'm not like, oh my God, this, like, I'm not trying to be pretty about it, or like, this doesn't bother me. It's really genuine. Like, this letter doesn't mean anything. And then from there, what was the two voices I was talking about at the beginning that are in our mind? What are the two voices that I was talking about at the beginning? Holy Spirit and ego. So at that time, you have that voice within you, which is Holy Spirit, which is truth, which is light, that you give it over. Holy Spirit, I give you this letter. I give this over to you. I have no idea what this means or how to deal with this. Guide me. I want everybody to understand, and this is one of my biggest teachings when I teach my clients, is that we have the answer within us. We know exactly what to say, exactly what to do, exactly how to be. We just have been programmed for so long with so much fear that the voice of the Holy Spirit, we can't hear us because the ego is screaming. So we must cultivate and listen more and more to our truth. And how do you know that you're listening to your truth? You'll know you're listening to your truth because you'll be at peace. Your gauge is, if I'm not feeling at peace right now, I'm feeling a little bit anxious, what do? You stop yourself. Stop. I'm not feeling at peace. I'm thinking with the wrong mind right now. You know what? No la quiero cagar ahora. Let me choose again. Right? So let me choose Holy Spirit again. And you choose again from your truth. And this is a daily practice you can do every single day. It's very simple. Trust. It's very important, because I feel that we fall victim to all these things in life, all these supposedly problems, and we make them a big deal. So we need to trust that it's going to work itself out, even though it looks like it's not. So that's where faith comes in, right? It might look like un desmadre afuera, but you could say, you know what? There's a power within me that's bigger than any problem. There's a power within me that If you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you that there's cells in your body that are not working, you just think to yourself, there's plenty of cells in my body that are working and that are stronger than these other cells, and I'm gonna be fine. Your job is to do that all the time, is to choose spirit again. Say, you know what? This is not who I am. Like whatever I was told I am, this is not the truth about me. So that's our job, to constantly be reminding ourselves and stop ourselves, because what happens is the ego transits us out. We get transed out. It's like living on automatic pilot and not really living, because we're living from our past. So it's like a trance. You're not really experiencing life. So we must wake up. Our job is to wake up, but not only that, is to do our part in the Great Awakening. Do our part in the Great Awakening. Davina's doing her part in whatever way she could with her magazine. She's using her magazine. Michelle sings at my church. She's doing her part also with her music to awaken people. Billy's doing her part with her awakening. I have Nancy, my assistant, back there. She's doing her part with serving me to extend the love, to extend the message, right? So we must elevate consciousness. That's our job. And get away from this, it's all about me, to it's all about us. And let's do this together. Let's wake up together. What I've learned about this experience that I've had with men, that comes back to my father. My father committed suicide when I was only 3 months old, so I made it mean something. I realized this weekend. I made it mean that what I do is when I find a guy that I like, automatically, and I'm sure some of you could probably relate, I'm scared they're gonna leave me. I'm like, oh my God, like, holy shit, like this guy is gonna leave me. Like I'm gonna feel abandoned because my dad left me. My first image of a man that is my father committed suicide and left me. So that's the image that I have of men, that they're gonna leave me. This is just an example I'm giving you, because this could be in any area of your life of where I've realized that I no longer need to live that story. I no longer need to live that tape that I'm not worthy of love and that I've been abandoned, because that is not the truth. The truth is that was what I got from revelation from Holy Spirit with journaling this weekend, is that was his own plan. That was his own destiny. That was his own growth. And it's the best thing he ever gave me as a gift, because as a father, he wouldn't have been of service for me to be here today. So that's how I see it now. So I just want to share with you that no matter what is it that's going on in your life, that you feel it's like a hindrance or something that it's such a trigger, like this one has been for me, that it need not be. It doesn't matter if it's been 20 years, if it's been 30 years that you've been living with this grievance. The time has come. The time has come for us to live our truth. The time has come for us to experience the love that we are and live that fully, no matter what. We must say enough is enough, period. It's not like enough is enough, but I want to call the shots, I want to manipulate. We must learn how to let go. I mean, it's very exhausting when we live this life of trying to make happen, trying to manipulate. That's where trust comes in. You're like, you know what? Holy Spirit's got my back. I'm being guided. I have an inner wisdom within me that's more powerful than all the bullshit that my head talks, all the caca that the ego talks, that knows exactly what to say and what to do, and damn it, I'm going to listen to it. Like, I'm going to hear it. Like, I am done. So we must recognize that we have that voice. I feel that we go around asking people for advice and things, and that's fine. But I want you to know that you have the answer within you. You always have and you always will. It's just that we've lowered the volume on it. On Sunday, thanks.
Preach it, girl.
On Sunday, I realized that. And I said, you know what? I'm going on a 7-day cleanse and process of healing this bullshit with guys. Like, I am done, right? So I'm going on a 7-day process of forgiveness. And then I heard, because of my intuition, I listen to Holy Spirit. It's not like a voice like, oh, don't get me wrong. It's just like an inspired thought of where I that I got, forgive your father. And I was like, but why? I never even met my father. Why would I forgive my father? Now we know why I had to forgive my father. I had past grievances with him I didn't know about. Then today, I did some journaling, and I was going through my process of forgiving my first boyfriend, of which I gave my virginity to, of which cheated on me and left me. Hello. So I did my healing process with him. These are not bad stories. I don't want you guys to think these are bad stories. These are good stories. Right. Because these stories are giving me the opportunity to recognize the love that I am and that I always have been. So there's always work to do, and we must have the courage to say, you know what, I'm willing to do that, right? So I had this revelation, but I'm not just gonna sit with it and be patient with it and be like, oh, whatever happens, happens. No, I need to work at it now. And it's not about doing, is that, okay, I've been called to forgive, so I'm gonna forgive my father, I'm gonna start forgiveness of all the men in my life so I can be free of this pattern that I'm tired of, right? So that is our job, to constantly be healing that and constantly find ways so that we can live a better life. There's so many things with self-love. I mean, I could go on and on and on. One of them is, you must be willing to forgive, I feel, and really let go. And forgiveness of A Course in Miracles is very different. It's not like I forgive you because you've done something, so I need to forgive you, or I need to forgive you because I'm better than you, I have Jesus and you don't. It's not that type of forgiveness. Forgiveness in A Course in Miracles is taking responsibility. We must take our responsibility of all of our stuff that's going on in our lives and not be a victim of the world that we see. How about that? Yes. Right? I've heard Roxy say this too. There's not be a victim of what's out there ever. Right? So that is what true forgiveness is according to the Course in Miracles. I am responsible for this. I forgive myself for this projection. You forgive yourself. I forgive myself. I forgive this person. This is when I first heard this in the Course in Miracles. I was like, what? You forgive the person for what they didn't do. How about that? Hello? I was like, what do you mean they didn't do it? What are you talking about? It's happening, right? Forgive the person for what they didn't do. Why? Because what did I say at the beginning? Everything is love or a call for love. So that person was out of their love when they did that. So you forgive yourself. You forgive the person for what they didn't do. And then the third step is you give it over to who you think? Who do you think you give it over to? Jesus. You give it over to Holy Spirit. Because it's, you know, we have the 2,000. Jesus is there. He's right there. Right. Yeah, Jesus is right there. 3-1. Yeah. So you have Holy Spirit or ego. So you give it over to Holy Spirit. You say, Holy Spirit, let me see this another way. That's true forgiveness. And then the miracle is, the Course in Miracles would say, the miracle is a thought of perception from fear to love. So anytime you're changing your perception, like what I did on Sunday with this whole healing with men, is I changed my perception from fear to love. Like, I'm done with this suffering. I'm gonna work with this. I'm gonna play with this. It's like bringing the darkness into the light. We must go there. We must be honest with our feelings. What happens is we sedate ourselves. We don't want to feel our feelings. So guess what we do? We go watch Netflix, or we go drink a drink, or let's go out. Let's kind of like, let's be busy. Let's be busy. Let me go out with my friends. Let me sedate this. I don't want to feel sad. I don't want to do this. Oh my God, I feel sad. Let me go have a whole bottle of wine. Let me go have a whole bottle of vodka. Let me go do drugs. How about that? So that's what we do. We become numb, and we must have the courage to feel our feelings. Do you think it's been fun, me doing this work with these men for 2 days and crying? Do you think it's been fun? It's not fun. But I'd rather live that way because I get to wake up and not be trans out anymore, and not live the way I've been living with these men in my life, and not being able to experience a genuine, loving, romantic relationship that I'm fucking worthy of. The time has come. The time has come, right? Woo! So I invite you to recognize it in yourself, because as you see it in me, I see it in you. As you say, you know, we're one, right? So I mean, this is a lot. I've kind of thrown up on you like 20 or 30 minutes of like all the things that I use, but the important thing is to have the courage to really feel that and say, you know what, I'm going to go there because I want to heal this once and for all. I don't no longer want to push this under the rug. I mean, people sometimes think, you know, spirituality is brushing things under the rug, like, oh, everything's fine. You know, we act a lot. You know, everything's fine. We brush things under the rug. No, that's being stupid. I mean, brushing things under the rug, or being patient. Oh, I'm going to be patient now. I'm depressed, but let me be patient. Let me meditate. Let me pray. I'm going to be patient. Patient. Patient when you're depressed and you're sad. I'm not going to be patient. I want my healing now. So let's get uncomfortable. Let's like play in this is uncomfortable. Let me play with these thoughts of fear. Let me make love to them if I have to. Let me feel it. And let me cry. Let me get on my knees and let me release it and come back home to God. Come back home to the truth of who I am, which is love, and I always will be that love. Okay? So all together, so we can close. I want all of us to just be present. I want us all to close our eyes right now. And let's just go within and take a few deep breaths here. And I want you to just have thoughts of love. Anything that could come up to you, like I am love or I am worthy of love. And I want you to mentally send love to the person on the right of you, the left of you, whoever's here, with your eyes closed, and just send love to this whole restaurant. And just be that. Just be there. And it's so uncomfortable sometimes just to be still and quiet and be connected to the truth of what we are. But we're worthy of that. It's a gift. So in the silence to yourself, I just want you to recognize that you are loved. You always have been loved. You've never left from that love. And that you're worthy of experiencing that love. So I invite you all to just open your eyes now. And we all declare, I am love.
I am love.
Cheers to that. 1, 2, 3. Alegría.